Really so pathetic that we need to be issued with a warning from the AA to tell us the roads are busy on bank holidays? How ludicrous.
I do think there will be a lot of sympathy with that view. Of course, it is pretty much always the same. I mean, great that Ellie could bring us up to date on the problems, particularly short-term problems like at Weston-super-Mare. But yes, I mean, there are always, on Bank Holiday Monday, going to be long queues in from Cornwall, from Devon, lots of congestion leaving the Lake District, particularly going southbound, and the M25. Who could ever forget the particularly the quadrant from the M40 for Oxford and Heathrow around to the M23 for Gatwick, and also over towards the Dartford crossing. So yes, it's a mess. But most of it is fairly predictable. And those 900 cancellations that Ellie mentioned, most of them notified in advance in the skies. But we have got some short-term cancellations, which are, of course, the much more annoying kind. So EasyJet facing industrial action in both Portugal and in Spain. Wow. They've cancelled so far at least a dozen flights between Portugal and the UK, and they've also cancelled a couple of round trips from Palma in Mallorca, holiday favourite of course, to Gatwick. Now the big problem is if you're heading out to those destinations, there will be plenty of space on other flights, other airlines. Coming back in, everything is pretty stretched, so that could be a problem, and those passengers could end up being rerouted via Paris or Amsterdam or somewhere else to get them home.
And which will be the busiest airports then, if there is going to be challenges with some of the flights?
Yeah, well, of course, getting on a flight to the UK, your problems are only just beginning, because then you've got to arrive. Well, I've got the latest figures on that, and Luton and Stansted are both predicting, they are two of the top 5 airports in the UK, along with Manchester, Heathrow and Gatwick. They're both predicting that today is going to be the busiest inbound day.
Really?
Now, I went through this on Saturday coming into Heathrow, and the main problem is, I mean, the flight was actually on time, but then it's the ground handling on arrival. UK Border Force wasn't too bad at all, but then you sit around for an hour. And you've also been covering on GBNews earlier the long delays that people have been facing with Wizz Air at the top of the league. But that, the average day of 15 minutes, I think most of us on a bank holiday Monday would take a 15-minute delay.
Would indeed.
We count that as a victory.
So tell us